I'd like to just make a few comments about how Brian got here in some ways. You might as well take a seat, you folks. I'm going to be a minute or two, but I'm not going to give you his life history. I'd like to give you your history. We noted last evening that Brian is going to be retiring at the end of this calendar year, and it marks an era. It's been 14 years by then, I think. 16, I'm sorry. Got the wrong numbers. 16 years, I should have known that. And that's been a wonderful span of service to the church, Brian. And it has shaped what we have done in mission, but it was not done in isolation. I want to begin by rooting what Brian has been doing for the past 16 years in the founding DNA of MCEC, you as congregations. Brian came to MCEC in 2003 and built on the strong legacy of MCEC, where mission was at the heart of our life together as congregations. Now, some of you know that history well. For some of you, maybe it's starting to recede out of the back corners of your mind. And for some of you, you probably don't even know this history. But MCEC was formed in 1988 from 3 different streams of the Mennonite church here in Eastern Canada, each with their own histories. What happened, though, was for about 15 years prior to that, those 3 conferences collaborated jointly and actually in 1973 founded a legal body known as Inter-Mennonite Conference Ontario. That Inter-Mennonite Conference was the predecessor of us, MCEC. The focus of that conference was, how do we share in mission together? Each of the conferences had their own mission initiatives, and they started to look at each other and go, why are we not collaborating together? Our faith is very similar. We should be thinking about working together, and the Inter-Mennonite Conference was the first step in that direction. So mission has very much been at the founding DNA of us in MCEC. Church planting, welcoming new Canadian churches, and ministry alongside the marginalized were always at the heart of MCEC, even before day one, if I talk about Inter-Mennonite Conference. And alongside that commitment to mission was a strong commitment to leadership development of lay and pastoral leaders to support and equip the mission of the church and our congregations. So Brian, you've helped us build on that strong foundation and help us sharpen our commitment to those areas of ministry, I think, in a number of ways. Brian, I think you've helped us to rethink how we connect and what mission means in a marginalized community. We often thought that we did ministry to marginalized communities. But I think, Brian, you've helped us think about what does it mean to do ministry with marginalized communities? How do we call leadership out of those communities? And that's been a gift to us in MCEC. Way back in the 70s, and since we started welcoming the boat people, the Lao, the Hmong, we started to welcome our Hispanic people. But Brian, I think in your 16 years, what you've also done is help us sharpen how do we extend the welcome to our new Canadian congregations. And sometimes that's church planting, many times that was church adoption, as we saw here today. But you've been just very helpful in helping us understand that we need to be proactive, that we can reach out, we can invite, and what we have is something that our new congregations want to share in. So thank you. And I think Brian has also been very instrumental in helping us sharpen and build on our desire to share our faith. So Brian, your encouragement and nudging to how do we be more intentional about sharing our faith about disciple making, whether that's in our congregations or how do we share our faith beyond our congregations. Your work has also supported us in MCEC. The Relearning Community Initiative would be one example of that. I think for these many gifts and more that, Brian, you have offered us here in MCEC during your time of ministry, we owe you a debt of gratitude. So thank you for your faithful ministry to MCEC. Yoel, I invite you to share some reflections from Mission Council. Yoel is chair of the Mission Council, and invite him to share a few thoughts.
My name is Yoel Masiawong. I'm also a chair of the Mission Council. I wish Brian would be 20 more years younger than what you are today. The first thing is that so you can work a little bit more for us, for MCEC. And the second thing, I wish I can retire at the same time with you. But all good things always come to an end. And the Thai words say, ไม่มีงานเลี้ยงใดที่ไม่มีวันเลิกลา I know you don't understand that, but I searched in Google, it said there's no party that's not broken. I don't know if it's very close or not, but that's the meaning. I have known Brian since 2005. Getting to know Brian, it's really my honor, and I believe, and whoever of you, when you if you know him, you know that Brian is one of the kind of a human being, as what I can see. He has bring the warm heart and passion to the multicultural churches, the missions of the church. And I believe that his legacy regarding the work of the churches, it's really unbelievable. These past years, as a chair of Mission Council, to walk along with him, I have gained much more of the knowledge, love, and see all his kindness around the people around him. And his good samples of the humanity show us that how a person he is as Jesus Christ, a follower and disciples. Brian, it is such a blessing to know you in these years. And as I said, you are a man who inspired me a lot in so many ways. I have learned a real essence of passion towards mission of Jesus Christ. And I believe, but this is also a destiny. It's a time that we also, as a churches and all multicultures, we have to face it. I would like you to know that we are so blessed having you as a mission ministers for MCEC and for all of us, and thank you very much.
Brian, I invite you to share some reflections of your own.
Well, this feels so good to hear these very kind words. Maybe I should just continue on working. Ain't gonna happen. I simply want to take time to say thank you. To be allowed to do what I do for the past, it'll be 16 years, and to get paid for it, and to be encouraged in it by the people that are here. It's just, words truly escape me. Thank you does not really seem to be a deep enough or an important enough word to say to you. And that includes the established congregations, that includes David Brubaker, who first tapped me on the shoulder when I came home from my daughter's convocation and said, "It's time for you to come home." And I said, "I live in California." Have you been to California? But here I am. He's very convincing. I need to say thank you to the many colleagues I've had the opportunity to work with. David Martin has been a great boss to go to. He listens to me, offers some guidance, gives me a lot of rope so that I can run experiments and meet with various kinds of people. All the people that have been on the various mission councils, in 16 years you figure there should be at least one problem child on those many mission councils that just, you want them to go away. Never happened. They were always there and supportive and in prayer and saying, we need to keep on doing this. For those of you who work with me, you'll know that details are not my strength. So the administrative team, man, I could not have done without their help. Now, I won't comment that I think I went through at least 6 or 7 admin assistants. I want to say thank you to all of the church planters. I see Jim Leptison here and Chinda Kamala. They were the first 2 crazy people. And you do have to be a little crazy to want to start a new church. You have to be crazy about God. You have to be crazy in love with Jesus Christ. You have to be crazy in love with the people of a particular neighborhood. They were the first. And so many have followed in their footsteps. And for the congregations that continue to explore relationships with MCEC, thank you. You honor us. You honor me by simply wanting to be here. My favorite time of the year has always been, and here's the part that I will absolutely miss, and that's standing on stage with congregations who commit to you and you commit to them, and they saying, we are a Mennonite people. We are not Dutch Russian. We are not Swiss Menno. We are not Amish, but we are children of God, of the Mennonite faith and practice and tradition. Your spiritual forefathers and foremothers are our spiritual forefathers and foremothers. I don't know where else I'm going to get that fix. There's so much to be said, so much I want to say. I think I will close with one more thank you, and that's to Floridale Mennonite Church. That was where I was born and raised. Trying to get through this. I was shaped as a disciple of Jesus Christ in that congregation. And I can assure you, and if my father were here, he's passed on to a better world, he would confirm that I was not the easiest son to raise. I was a moody, angry, incorrigible little bugger. And that just kind of continued on through my teen years. I stood in front of my congregation, my relatives, the people that I love. Well, they loved me. And at the invitation of the pastor at the time, Gerald Good, I blame it on you, Gerald. Brian, I want you to come and share with the congregation. I said, okay. And what I shared was this congregation is not dying because it is already dead. No one in that congregation could predict that I would be here today. But I share that story because as we are concerned about the youth of today, it is the people in this room that have all the power to make this right. Because even for that teenager of so long ago, they continue to love me, disciple me, teach me, shape me. And I honestly wouldn't be here. I wouldn't be part of the church if not for that. So thank you to all of you, because that's all I can really say. Amen.
Going to invite you to remain standing for a moment and invite you to raise your hands towards the front as we bless Brian. We'll bless him once more at the end of the year at a formal gathering, probably at 50 Kent, November, December. Stay posted. But for now, let's offer a prayer of blessing. I'll pray a short prayer in English, and then Yoel will offer a prayer as well. Gracious God, we thank you for your church. We thank you for disciples. We thank you for servants to serve in your mission. Today we give you thanks for Brian, for the ways that you have been active in his life, the ways you have led him into ministry and service here in MCEC. Thank you so much for the blessings that we have received through his work in the mission office portfolio. I pray that you would continue now to bless him throughout the remainder of this year, and may your hand continue to be upon him and bless him in the transition time ahead. We are grateful, O God. Receive our thanks.
ข้าแต่พระเจ้าผู้ทรงสร้างฟ้าสวรรค์และแผ่นดินโลกขอบพระคุณพระองค์ที่พระเจ้าทรงประทานไบรอันให้กับมิชชั่นของ MCEC ขอบคุณพระเจ้าที่ตลอด10 กว่าปีที่ผ่านมาที่พระองค์ทรงประทานความคิดที่กล้าหาญความคิดที่อยากจะให้พันธกิจของพระองค์ก้าวไปข้างหน้าพระองค์เจ้าข้าเขาทั้งหลายขอบพระคุณสำหรับเวียกงานที่ลาวได้สนับสนุนให้คริสตจักรต่างๆเจริญก้าวหน้าต่อไปขอพระเจ้าทรงอวยพระพรชีวิตของเราที่จะเต็มไปด้วยพระคุณความฮักสันติสุขที่มาจากพระองค์ที่เราจะสามารถก้าวต่อไปในช่วงเวลาสุดท้ายของชีวิตในการพักผ่อนหรือเวียกงานต่างๆที่เราจะมีเฮ็ดต่อไปขอพระเจ้าทรงโปรดประทานพระพรอย่างมากมายมาถึงชีวิตของไบรอันและก็ภรรยาของเราคือแนนซี่เช่นเดียวกันเอาขอฝากมอบชีวิตของเราไว้ในพระหัตถ์อันทรงฤทธานุภาพของพระองค์อธิษฐานในพระนามของพระเยซูคริสต์เจ้าI pray in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen.